Let me ask you something. What if your kid could look you in the eye at age 16 and say, "Mom, Dad, I have savings, I understand investing, and I actually know what a stock is"? Sound impossible? It's not. And it doesn't require a finance degree, a big salary, or some complicated spreadsheet. More than that, you will be the one to teach your child. It only requires 3 jars. That's it. 3 jars, a simple system, and a few conversations. And you can set your child up to think about money completely differently than 95% of the adults around them. In this video, I'm going to show you the exact 3-jar system that we use in our home to raise kids who don't just spend every dollar they get, but who actually think like investors. And by the end, I'm going to share a jar trick that most parents skip entirely. And it's the one that makes the biggest difference long term. Before we dive into the system, I want to quickly tell you why the typical approach to teaching kids about money just doesn't work. Think about what most of us were taught growing up. Maybe your parents told you to save your money. Maybe they gave you a piggy bank. But nobody sat us down and explained why we were saving. Nobody showed us what our money could actually do if we let it grow. And nobody taught us the difference between spending money and investing money. So what happened? We grew up and had to figure it out the hard way. Trial and error, bad decisions, maybe some debt we wish we could take back. And now we have kids of our own, and we don't want that for them. Research actually shows that financial habits start forming as early as age 7. But if we're not intentional, the world will teach them to spend. The 3-jar system fixes this. Not by making money complicated, but by making it tangible, visual, and habit-forming. It works at any age. Let me show you exactly how it works. The first jar is the spend jar, and this is the one kids love the most, at least at the beginning. Whenever your child earns money, a portion goes into the spend jar. This is their fun money, their right now money, the stuff for candy or Roblox. Now, here's where most parents go wrong. They feel guilty about the spend jar. They think, shouldn't I be teaching my kid not to spend? No. If you take away all spending money, it becomes a source of anxiety. The spend jar gives them freedom and agency, making them more willing to follow the rest. The magic is in the structure. You're not saying don't spend. You're saying you can spend this money, and only this money, right now. How much goes in the spend jar? A good starting split is 50%. Half of whatever they earn goes here. For younger kids, you can go even higher. One more thing. Let them make mistakes with the spend jar. If your kid blows their money on something that breaks in a day, don't bail them out. That frustration is one of the best financial lessons they will ever get, and it costs them maybe $3 instead of $3,000. Jar number 2 is the save jar. And this is where kids start to develop one of the most powerful skills in personal finance: delayed gratification. The save jar is for goals, not someday goals. Real, specific goals. A video game, a bike, or sneakers. The key is that it has a name and a number. Here's a quick story. A friend of mine, let's call her Maria, started the 3-jar system with her 8-year-old son. He wanted a Lego set for $62. She put a photo of it on the save jar. Every single week, he'd add to it, and every Friday, he'd count the money inside. After 11 weeks, he had enough. They went to the store together. He handed over the cash himself, and he walked out of that store proud. Not because he had the toy, but because he had earned it with patience. That feeling? That's what the save jar builds. You can't just hand it to them. How much goes in the save jar? Around 30 to 40%. And once a goal is reached, celebrate it. Make it a moment. Then set the next goal. Talk to your child about their save goals. Ask them why they want it. Help them work out how long it'll take. This is financial planning in its purest form. Pause for a second. Did you have a savings goal as a kid? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to know. Okay, now we're at jar number 3, the one I've been hinting at. This is the jar that most parents ignore or assume their kid is too young for. They're not. The invest jar is not a savings account. It's for one thing only: making money work for you over time. This number will blow your mind. If a child invests just $10 a month starting at age 8, by 65, that has grown to over $45,000. Just $10. But if they wait until 18, that same $10 only grows to about $20,000. They lost $25,000 just by waiting a decade. That is the power of compound interest. And that is why the InvestJar matters so much. So how does it actually work for kids? First, decide where the money goes. Open a custodial account, like a Roth IRA for kids. Second, keep it simple. Choose a basic index fund, like one that tracks the S&P 500. You don't need to pick individual stocks. Let the market work. Third, and this is critical, involve your child. Show them the account. Let them see the numbers go up over years. Make it visual, just like the jars. One thing we do, every quarter we sit down together and look at the account. We talk about what it means when the number goes up or down. And when it goes down, we talk about why that's okay. That's a great mindset lesson. Short-term drops don't erase long-term gains. The InvestJar typically gets the smallest percentage, maybe 10 to 20%. But over decades, it's the jar that matters the most. You're not just teaching them to invest. You're teaching them to think like owners, from spender to builder. That mindset changes everything. All right, you've got the jars. Now here's how to actually launch this week. And yes, this week. It doesn't require a bank or a financial advisor. Step 1. Get 3 physical jars. Mason jars, plastic, anything. Label them. Spend, save, invest. Let them decorate. Ownership starts here. Step 2. Decide on a split. A great starting point is 50, 30 to 20. 50% spend, 30% save, 20% invest. Adjust based on your family values. Step 3. Set a goal for the save jar together. Make it specific. Make it visual. Tape a picture to the jar. That makes it real. Step 4. Open a custodial account for the InvestJar. Even if you start with just $5 or $10, that's enough to make it official. Step 5. Do a weekly or bi-weekly jar check-in. Just 5 minutes. Count the money together. Talk about progress. Celebrate small wins. That's it. 5 steps. 3 jars. Foundations of financial literacy every single week. Not in a classroom, but in real life, with you. Okay, remember the jar trick I told you about? The one that makes the biggest difference? Here it is. Be the bank. What does that mean? It means you pay your child interest on their save and invest jars. Every month, whatever is in there, you add 10%. Now, before you say, I can't afford that, if your kid has $15, you're adding $1.50. But what you're teaching is priceless. You're showing them that money makes money, that waiting is literally rewarded. The InvestJar is not just a jar, it's a tiny machine. Kids who experience this grow up with a completely different relationship with investing. They're not scared, they're not confused, they've lived it. That's the difference between a kid who avoids thinking about money and a kid who grows up to build wealth. It starts in their bedroom. And here's a bonus. As they get older, maybe 10, 12, 14, gradually shift the bank responsibility to them. Help them open a real account. Let them watch the real market do what you used to do for them. The transition feels natural because they already understand the concept deeply. So recap: spend for freedom, save for goals, invest for compound interest, and the secret trick: be the bank that makes it all click. 3 jars. 1 conversation, a completely different financial future for your child. You don't need to be an expert. You just need to start. The best time was yesterday. The second best time is right now. If this video helped you, hit that like button and subscribe. See you in the next one.